Hi everyone. So I'm going to do a quick makeup tutorial for those of you who missed the lesson that we did at the studio. So I'll walk you through both the junior and the intermediate and senior makeup. So the first thing that you want to do is start with a primer. Now, none of these products need to be expensive ones. You can buy them all from the chemist or Kmart. I use an Arbonne primer because I believe it is the best one on the market, but you don't need to, like I said, you don't need to use an expensive one. If you do want to purchase an Arbonne primer, we do have an Arbonne representative as part of our studio. So please let me know and I can pass along her details to you. So you just want to pop a primer over the whole skin. Now, primer just helps make foundation stick a bit better. And also it smooths the skin out, and it also makes the makeup last longer on your child's skin. So we're going to pop it all over our face, all over our eyelids, push it right back into your hairline and down your neck also. I then am going to apply my foundation. So a liquid foundation is going to, or a cream foundation is going to work best. I would suggest that you buy a shade darker than your child's skin, because our skin gets washed out with this under the stage lights. Excuse me, I'm just going to look in the mirror. So buying a shade darker is best, because then your child isn't going to look pale or washed out once those stage lights hit them. So you just want to brush on the foundation, always using upward strokes, and make sure you blend right down the neck as well. Again, you don't need a expensive foundation. You can just use one from Kmart or the chemist, that's fine as well. Or if you have one in your own cupboard that you would like to use on your child, you can do that as well. Kids don't need their own, especially the young ones. So you just want to go all over, make sure it blends in really nicely and into their hairline. I would suggest that you do your child's makeup before you do their hair, just so that you can get right into the hairline and not muck up their beautifully done hair with all the hairspray and gel that goes in it. So just all over. Then you want to get a blending sponge. So these you can get from Kmart as well. I got a couple the other day for $2. They're great. You just wet them down, then dry it off with the towel, and then you just bounce it on the skin. You don't need to actually rub, you just bounce, so that you take off any excess foundation, and you don't get streaks, and it does blend really nicely. So what we're doing is we're just creating layers on the skin so that the kids can leave their foundation or the makeup on, sorry, all day and not have to top it up again between shows. So we've done that. Now I'm just going to apply some concealer. This is for older students. You won't need to for the little ones because their skin's so perfect. But concealer is really good, big kids, for covering up things like this, pimples, acne, dark circles. So I'm actually mixing mine with my normal foundation just to dilute it a little bit, and because it's concert time and Miss Sally doesn't sleep, I'm going to put it underneath my eyes and just dab it on, feather it on and outwards, just like so, just to cover up my dark circles, because things like that, they do show up more on stage. So we're going to just feather that outwards. Then I'm going to come and I'm just going to dab some on the imperfections in my skin, obviously, and then on the creases that I don't want to make obvious on stage, and then I just dab on, dab on, dab on until they're semi-covered, and just check that there's nothing else that you want to cover. There's one on my neck too, so I'm going to do that as well. And then we're going to get our blending sponge again, and just dab it over the areas that you put concealer on to make sure that that's blended too, because you don't want to go on stage and look like you've got two different foundations on. Cool. So once you've done that, then we're going to put powder over the top. Now, powder is really, really important for all students, and it would be the only thing that I would suggest that you pack in your child's bag for the little ones, apart from their lipstick. So you want to just work the powder on in a circular motion to make sure it gets a really even coverage and all into those pores, so you're looking nice and matte, because we never want to look shiny on stage. So that's the reason why I'm suggesting that you pack your powder foundation for your kids, because they may get, even though it's air conditioned at the theatre, they still may get a bit hot under the lights, and we don't want to look all shiny on stage. So powder really helps, particularly for the big kids. So if you know you have a big break coming up, big kids, just pat yourself down with your sweat towel and then reapply your powder over the top. From here, we're going to use a bronzer. Now, you don't need to do this to a full extent with the little ones, but I would like to see this on all intermediates and seniors, just because it highlights areas of your face. So I'm just getting, this one's been very loved, but it's just a brown and pink, kind of a blend of a bronzer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it underneath my chin bone, so along my chin line, all the way along and up past my ears. Whoop. Up past my ears. And essentially what we're making is a 3. So we're going to also go along the hairline up the top, like so, down to where it meets the chin bone bronzer, and then you're going to go in underneath your child's cheekbone, or under your own cheekbone if you're doing it, because this just gives us a little bit of definition in our face and highlights our features rather than looking like we're just one matte surface. So we're going all the way down, and like I said, in the cheekbone. You don't want it to be too dark, so be very careful that you don't overdo it. You just want to make sure that you can see it and highlight those bits. So underneath. And then if you're using a liquid bronzer, then it's really important to blend. Blending is the most important thing. Powder bronzer doesn't need a lot. I would still suggest to go around the hairline and the chin with the little ones. They don't necessarily need the cheekbones, but if they are a paler child, I would maybe suggest the cheekbones as well. So we're just going to blend that in. Now what we're going to do is you put on our blush. So blush is needed for all students, no matter what age they are. So I'm just going to use a pink. It doesn't need to be really dark. Just get them to make a fish face. And blend it up all the way into their hairline. This has a bit of shimmer in it, which is okay. You're allowed to use a little bit of shimmer. So we're going all the way up so that you can just see that blush on their cheeks. You could probably go a little bit darker than this one. Then for intermediate senior students, I would like you to use a highlighter. So powder or cream, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to use this colour here. And I'm just going to then go above where I applied my bronzer to highlight, to my blush, just to highlight those cheekbones, give you a little bit of shimmer, make you stand out a bit on stage, or those features I should say on stage. So you're just going to dab on, you don't need that much. And then again, just blend it to make sure that you don't have line, you don't want a rainbow on your face. So essentially, I don't know how good the lighting is in here, but we've done bronzer around the edge, blush, bronzer under the cheekbone, highlighter over the cheekbone if you are a senior or intermediate student. Now what we're going to do is move to our eyes. Now it's really, really important that you don't put any colour on your eyes, as in a pink, a green, a blue, a purple. As much as the kids will go, Mum, I really want you to put pink or purple on my eyes, because we use coloured gel lights, those lights, when they hit a colour on our faces, they can actually make it look like we've been injured, we've been punched in the face and quite bruised. So it's really important to use neutral colours, so browns and golds, blacks and whites only. Even steer away from black a little bit too on the eyes. Maybelline have these really good palettes. Mine's been obviously very loved, but you can get these from Kmart, I think, for $15. You can also get them at Coles and Woolworths, and they're a really good color palette, and they're really neutral, so that's what we want. So I'll show you which colors that I'm going to use, and we'll get started from there. So I'm just going to start. You can't really see it because it has been loved, with this one, which is a very light brown. Or you can also use a gold. Golds work really well, even with a little bit of shimmer, because it'll bring out the other colours in your eyeshadow. So I'm just going to turn to face my mirror so I can see. But you just want to brush that light brown colour over the whole eyelid. So all the way from the eyelashes into the tear duct, and then all the way up to the eyebrow and out. So I have really small eyes, so I always try and make my eyeshadow, make my eyes look bigger. So I'm going to take my eyeshadow out even further to the edge of my eyebrow, just to try and lift the eye and make it look a bit larger than normal. So we'll do that on both our both our eyelids. So all the way in and up and out. And so that creates a really good base for you. So then what we're going to do is use just a slightly darker shade brown, or bronze, I guess you could use. So I'm going to use this one here for the next colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smaller brush, and I'm going to take that brown and I'm going to put it along the eyelid and up to the crease of the eyelid. So again, I've got really small eyes, so it doesn't take me long. But we want to cover the entire eyelid and into the crease of that eye, just to give the eyelid and the eye a bit of definition. And then all you need to do, you don't need to worry about a blending brush or anything with your eyeshadow. The best way to do it is just blend with the finger. So again, you don't have that rainbow of colour. They're all blended together. And you always want to blend outwards and up, not down and in. So we'll do that on both our eyes. So into the crease. I went a bit too close that time, but that's all right. We can fix that up later. So blend it in nicely, take it out, and then just check that they're both even. You don't want one eye to look like it's shut on stage and the other one open. Okay, so with that, that's all you need for the younger students. You just need the base of the brown, and then the darker brown over top into the crease. They don't need much more. The only other thing that I could suggest is to get a white. So I'm going to use, this is another Maybelline palette, exactly the same, but it's pink, and it's got like pinky colours in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white that they've got, and I'm just going to go underneath my eyebrow. Now I'm going to blend it in nicely, but we just want to do a thin line underneath the eyebrow, because again, it makes it lift and it highlights those eyes. See the difference in the two eyes with that white line? So it's a little trick that actually makes quite a big difference when the students are on stage. So if you could get a white and do that and then blend with your finger, it would be really, really great. You can also get that white and just go into the tear ducts and up onto that top eyelid, and then you blend it. And you just blend it, because then that also, it's a little trick that lifts the eyes and really defines them, which we want on the stage, because eyes, well, faces really are the most expressive things when we dance, so we want to make sure that they really pop. So that's all you need for the younger students in terms of eyeshadow. For the older students, so intermediates and seniors, I just want you to use one more colour on your eyes because you are that bit older and your features are a bit more prominent. So what we want to do is now we want to use even darker brown. So I used this one for the last time. So this time I'm going to use this dark brown. It's almost a black, but it's not quite. And I'm going to use a smaller brush, and all I'm going to do is go into the crease of the eye and move it backwards and forwards to really define that eye and to give it just that little bit more depth on stage. And then again, you can just blend with your finger. Yep. So the juniors don't need this, obviously. I always say we're not in the business of making our students look like they're in a toddlers and tiaras competition. We want them to still look natural on stage, but we understand that they need makeup too, because otherwise they're just going to look like they've got no features on the stage. So makeup is important, but we want to keep it as minimal and as natural as possible. It's really important too never to put glitter on your, like full glitter on your face when you're on stage, because that can react with the lights as well. Now seniors, if you did want to put a little bit of shimmer on, that's okay. I'm happy for you to do that, but shimmer, not glitter. So I'm going to use a gold pot that I've got, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the insides of my eye and just feather it out. Just a really little bit, so it's not too overpowering, but it does give a nice little glow. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so that's it for eyeshadow. One more thing that you can use your eyeshadow for, however, is to do your eyebrows. So all kids, no matter what age, they need a little bit of eyeshadow or eyebrow pencil on their eyebrows just to frame their eyes. Doesn't need to be dark. So I'm just using another dark brown on mine because I'm fairly fair anyway. And I'm just going to get a little brush and brush it on outwards. See, I'm not going very dark. It's not a super big difference to my natural eyebrows, even though I do get them tinted. And I'm just going to feather them out, make sure they look even, and make sure there's no gaps in it. You can blend with your finger, but all students do need just to highlight their eyebrows. There we go. Done. So for our intermediate and senior students, you'll need to have an eyeliner. Little ones, I wouldn't suggest for the teddies or the pre-primaries to brave the eyeliners with them. But as they get older, maybe level 1s, level 2s, junior jazz, junior intermediate tap, they can have a little bit of eyeliner. I would suggest a liquid eyeliner just because it is a long day, and if they get tired and rub their eyes, a pencil eyeliner is going to smudge way more easily than a liquid. I got this for $2 at Kmart. It's awesome, and I've had it forever. And like I said before, I've got really small eyes, so I'm just going to move you this way so I can see into the mirror, because I am terrible at doing this myself, or not looking into a mirror. So because I've got small eyes, I'm just going to go halfway across my eye. I'm not going to go all the way. If you know that you've got a bigger eye, you can go all the way, but if you've got a smaller eyes, it actually shuts it. So I'm just going to go halfway. I'm going to stick to my eyelash line, and then I'm going to take it out just a little bit with a flick. It doesn't need to be a humongous flick. I actually don't want humongous flicks because they make you look silly. We just need a little one. And just blend in. So, see what I'm just turning the camera the wrong way. See what I've done there? It's just a little flick. It's not a big one. So I'm going to then try and match that. The hardest thing is matching it on the other side. So like I said, halfway across. And then out. There we go. Then obviously the next step is our mascara. So we want to put our mascara on, getting right to the ends. Here's a tip with the little ones, to hold the brush under their eyes and just get them to keep blinking. So you keep your brush still and they'll blink onto the mascara wand. Then you don't need to get them to sit still and try not to blink, and then all their makeup run because they've got watery eyes. So just keep getting them to blink. Otherwise, we're just going to wiggle down so we've got nice long eyelashes. I don't think anybody can put mascara on without opening their mouth. It's a concentration thing, isn't it? So once our mascara is on, then we're going to do the bottom lashes. They're really important because again they open your eyes out. We want to do everything that we can to open our eyes up on stage. Now if they're a little bit longer and the mascara touches their skin, just use a Q-tip. They're the best things for it. Just suck on it, gets makeup off so well, and then just clean it up. These are an essential thing for any makeup bag. So then you just look at it, see if there's anything that needs to be blended, and that is essentially it, apart from your lipstick, which I'm not going to do for you today because everybody can do lipstick, I'm fairly sure. And if not, we can help you at the concert as well. Just make sure that you let your child know that they are not to put their lipstick on for the little ones, because they get creative, and the first year we had it all over their face and it goes all over their costume. So just pack it in a little Ziploc bag with their name on it, and then get their volunteer in their dressing room to get it. But because we're using red, I would suggest that you use a lip liner so it doesn't run throughout the day. So it just stops the running. So just pencil it on around the lines of the lips and then fill it in. If your child has really teeny lips because they're little, just use it again, just use a Q-tip, put it on the lipstick and then put it on. So then you don't have to muck around with trying to get them to the lipstick to actually fit on their lips. So that's all you need for the little ones. Okay, just really light natural makeup that just highlights their natural features. The last thing for the seniors is and intermediates, you will all need to wear fake eyelashes this year. We sell fake eyelashes at the studio, so please come and see us if you don't have a pair. Now, I want you to come to me before the photos and the dress rehearsal and the concert and get me to cut them for you, because they don't need to go, they're quite long, the ones that we have at the studio, so they will hang out over the edges of your eyes. So we'll cut them so that it fits your eyelashes perfectly, or eyelids I should say. because I have small eyes, I've cut mine even smaller. So they go only halfway across my eyes, not the whole way, because I find if I put it on the whole way, then I get my eyelids look really, really heavy and I start to look old, and it shuts them up. So we want to make sure that we're, again, trying to lift and open our eyes as much as possible when we're on stage. So we're just going to put some glue on the back. Now you don't need to wait till the glue is fully dry. It just needs to be a bit tacky. So I usually put it on one eyelash, then put it on the other eyelash, and then the first eyelash is pretty much ready, but you can give it a little bit of a wave. Again, I can't do this looking into a camera, so I'm going to just flip you around. So you want to get in nice and close. Try and line the outside edge of your eyelash up with the outside edge of your eyelid, and then place it down, and then just ease along. You can do again with a Q-tip, but I'm good at doing it with my fingers now. And you just ease it on, make sure that everything is stuck down, and it's on. And then by the time I've got that one on, the other one's ready to dry also. And once the eyelashes are on, you're good to go. And that's your stage makeup. Okay, so if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to come and ask us. We're also sending out paper instructions with all of the written things. Oh, one more thing. Setting spray. So good. Saves your makeup throughout the day, so you don't need to redo it. So all you need to do is, once you've finished it, spray it all over your face and wait for it to dry. You can, sorry, you could get this from the chemist or Kmart. If you don't want to spring for a setting spray, you can use hairspray, but it is worse for your skin. So this is actually a moisturizing one, so it doesn't block your pores, and it's designed to keep your makeup on through moisture. Whereas hairspray will dry out your skin, and it closes up your pores and things like that. So hairspray will work, but if you can get a setting spray, and you can put this on before you put your makeup on as well with your primer, and it will make it stick throughout the day. But yep, like I said, that's it. Just read your instructions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We're always happy to help. Intermediates and seniors, please bring me your eyelashes so I can cut them for you. I don't want anybody having big eyelashes hanging off the sides of their eyes. So make sure you come and do that. Otherwise, happy makeuping.